If you've been struggling or simply new to sampling, today's going to be a quick guide on how you can get better at your sample chops and how to time stretch properly so that your tempo matches your project. And I'm just going to be going over little tips and tricks that I use. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So right now I have a sample pulled up. Now the first thing I want to say about sampling, it all starts with the sample itself. It's going to be a lot harder or more challenging to like chop up samples if you're not picking out good samples to begin with. So hear this real quick. Right off the back, you already hearing the bounce, bro. We're just gonna call this the rhythm kind of chopping. You can listen out for is how the snares is landing on a 2 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the kicks are coming in where it's following kind of like a trap and hip hop rhythm where it's like boom, top, boom, boom, top. And you see, it's still the same pattern, but they added a kick right after the snare. So it's like boom, top, boom, boom. If you focus enough on the drum patterns and you do a lot of critical listening, then when you go to chop samples, you can hear samples that might have that rhythm or a slight variation of that. Then you know that it's going to be a good chop. So let's just go in and chop this out. And I like to just chop out about 4 bars, 2 to 4 bars. If you're going more than 4 bars, it could kind of just get very hectic only because a lot of these songs is probably played live. So somewhere down the line, the timing could be a bit off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. The next transient is right there. So all I have to do is just come close to that part. Now to make sure that you got it right, you can always use pad 16 to loop the sample. So I know a lot of you guys see this loop button right here. Don't even worry about this. This is the real loop where you press pad 16. 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. So this is another way to make sure that you're counting correctly is by using the loop button and seeing if it loops properly. So from here, I could go through the rest of the sample, see what other chops that I like, but I'm gonna really just work with this. So what I like to do is actually discard this sample that I have and have it as its own sample. And you can do that by going to process. So if you only want this chop and you don't want any other chops, you can use discard and it's going to get rid of everything else that is not highlighted. You know, just in case you do want to use other chops, it's better to go to extract. So you can see in the picture, it's going to take out that piece. It's going to be its own individual thing. Then I could go in here and rename it. I'm just going to do like chop 1. Press do it. Then when I scroll over, I have my sample chop. So now from here, typically what I like to do, just so it could be different, is tuning it. But another reason why I want to tune it is because, like I said, it has that trap bounce already. So it's a bit fast. If I slow it down, you're going to hear it a bit better. Let's just go down 1. Or so once you roughly have an idea of how much you want to tune it, then I'm just going to go put this back to 0. And then the proper way to time stretch is to go through process. Go to time stretch and process. It's going to just give you the best algorithm to make it sound good. And notice how you don't see the time stretch anywhere. That is because you just want to make sure you're on trim and just go back. Sometimes it does that. And then you see time stretch. Now pay attention carefully because right here it says beats original tempo. You don't got to worry about ratio. The ratio would change depending on the original tempo and the beat. And then you have your new tempo. Now notice how it says 48:59. Obviously that is not accurate. And keep in mind, there are 4 beats in a bar. So this says 8. So this is saying it's 2 bars, but it's really not 2 bars. We counted a 4-bar loop. So we're going to have to go to 16 because that will make it 4 bars. And now you see our real tempo is 97:18, which I could just say is 97. But I want to change mine to about 88. So I could type in 88 and press do it. And let's hear how that sounds. Now, I still want to change the pitch. I still haven't found my pitch. I really just did those steps to really get, you know, vibe going and the tempo really. Now I want to get the right pitch. I don't want it to be like a low pitch. I want it to kind of be like, not chipmunk, but a bit more, you know, hyper than this. That sounds good. I like the pitch of that. Remember, bring it back down to 0. Then you want to always do your time stretching and your pitch changing through process. I promise you. And we're just going to bring this up to 5. Press do it. And doing it this way is going to keep the tempo intact. It's not going to change the tempo from where it's at, like how the tune does it. Now, as far as the mixing go of how I would process my sample, especially for this one, I would probably put in my own 808 since it's already having that trap rhythm. Or what you can do is copy this over and put a low pass filter and just only use the bass from that. And just to really show you that really quick, all you have to do is just go to mix. Now, I'm gonna press mix again because remember, I like to finger drum, so everything is gonna be on one track. And I wanna go to individual tracks to like put that on there. So I could go to my effects, and this is just to show you how to get the bass. EQ, kill EQ. They already have a preset, so I like to just do that and go to lows only. So you can see it is going to only have the low end. Now, if you want to get that cleaner, a low pass filter, you have a bit more control. And then what I would do is also go to modulation and put this in mono, because remember, this is still the sample and the sample is in stereo. And I'm just going to drop this whole thing in mono, and I'm actually go back and put this up. So it's going to be the stereo width, then a low pass filter. And then you could just turn it up with a limiter or whatever. What I am going to do is just go to the EQ and actually do a high pass filter. So I'm taking out that low end. But I don't want to take out so much. So I'm going to just, you know, a good ratio is from anywhere from like 120 to 170. And you could hear it. See, if I start going into 200, I really start cutting into the warmth of the sound or the body of the sound. So I don't want to cut too much into it. And that sounds good right there, 167, and that's enough room. And then another thing I like to do is go back to that kill EQ and put it on the preset no kick drum. So now it sounds like this. So it cuts out a bit more, and they just work well in conjunction with each other. So I hope you learned something from this video, and like and subscribe, share with your other producer friends that are getting into sampling and they want to know how it works on MPC 3.0. Peace.